That Topeka Boulevard 29, that was something different.
Yeah, no, we were there until about 6 years ago.
Okay, that's what I
Mhm,
remember.
yep.
Because you go in if you want cabinets, you want doors, you want anything.
Yeah.
And that was, and you could take things and deliver them as well.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Yes.
Okay.
And now we're over in Noto,
Where?
off of, on the intersection of Gordon and Quincy.
Okay.
So,
Is that where the, there used to be a manual construction firm? Is that north side of the street?
yep, we're where West, White Star used to be.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
we bought their building from them, so.
Okay.
It's a much bigger facility and
Okay.
it's much nicer than the
Okay.
old store was. We have a lot more stuff and it's much more organized. We're pretty proud of it.
Well, you should be, you should be. I'll be introducing you to some nice.
Okay, go for it. And I think our ReStore manager is gonna try to get here as well.
Okay, that'd be fine. So, yeah, you'll talk about the hours and so forth. And
Yep.
everything that's, okay.
Keep waiting.
You all-
Today to do.
So how long have you
It's
been?
not quite
8 years.
feeling it.
Oh, really? So you were went over here?
Yep, so
So how
I
long did-
started at the old store.
How long did it take to get the new one purchased and reestablished?
Well, it had to happen pretty quickly. The ceiling collapsed at our old store and we were getting ready to renew a lease there and we decided not to renew the lease once the ceiling collapsed. So from start to finish, we relocated and purchased the new building in about 6 months.
Okay.
And remodeled it and did everything.
So now it's an
So-
exercise facility where they don't need it.
Yes, yes. I'm glad to see that it has turned into something. I was worried it would end up vacant over there,
Okay.
so.
Okay, good.
You got this, right?
Uh,
You're the man of the hour.
I guess I am. Not fine.
Don't you love that?
I do. I'm good.
Okay.
Good morning, good morning. How was your coffee with Bernie?
Hi,
This
I'm
is
Gary
Janice. Janice, I'm great.
Yes, hey, nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you.
So both of you gonna have a speaking part? I'll introduce you and you'll introduce.
Sure, I can talk. Yeah, we'll figure it
Is
out.
John coming?
I think so.
Really, we were hoping he was gonna talk and we could just fill in the blanks.
Oh,
But he's
so you're
not-
hoping he shows up, huh?
Well, he's from a ReStore, but he doesn't like public speaking, so I'm surprised he can get up.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce Tyler?
After Saturday? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy to take the lead and I'll let John too, if that's comfortable for him.
All right.
You're leaving.
So we hit our goal. We're at 52. Might get up to 57 before the end of the day. Yeah.
More than-
I'm waiting on Dr. Vaughn. Matt was texting me on the spots on.
Yeah, I think it's
about 10:30.
Be quiet.
Okay, let's see. Hey Siri. Caller.
See, they have.
It was not over 30.
Are you going to announcements and stuff on this? or- I mean, not you personally, but what do you?
Yeah, we have upcoming partners meetings.
Okay, community. Community.
Yeah, I believe that. And then I have slides for the Type Derby party and Cinco de Mayo, and then our client appreciation birthday night.
Okay, do you want to talk about those when I go through them or not?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is it okay?
Okay, keep what you get. for me, so I can give it to them, let them know.
Between the three of us.
And that's so hard.
And there were some people that posted, that they only got 1 acre. But I had stuff else on my own.
This is going out on Zoom too.
Oh, okay,
So
perfect.
just let you know that we have those who are here, you know, we have those that you don't see.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so we haven't completely gone away from Zoom. I still like the flexibility of Zoom.
Absolutely,
Because I
sure.
think it enables a greater audience.
Absolutely, yeah. I appreciate that too. I was looking at my calendar today and talking to my husband, and I was like, I have 5 meetings today, and I wish more of them were on Zoom, I think.
Well, so I can just feel like you come here.
Oh,
say,
really?
I can manage this. You know,
Yeah.
it's just staff and everybody, so-
Right. And they are, that's not like,
Yeah,
it's always good to see people face to
Yeah.
face too, yeah.
I always
So
feel
you're not-
like I tuck back a few just so that I can like, oh, here's the name for you.
We have talked, Amanda's not feeling well. She went to
Oh,
flu, so that's
oh
why she-
no, I know the flu is going around and it's really hard on folks.
They're not really.
You got the appropriate shirt, huh?
Yeah, you got
You
the
got the
right
right
shirt
shirt.
on.
Can't miss me, can you?
I'm Gary Nance. I'm the bench pro.
John Roberts, that's me.
John, okay. So from what I gather, you're the one that do the primary speaking.
Yes,
They said
We brought
in your
these.
absence, you.
We got these back.
We'll start with
But I
that.
have one of the patches.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
John Roberts, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why wait for my high school cheerleaders to come egg our yard? I don't remember that.
I know, how are you, friends?
Good, how you guys doing?
Good, how you feeling?
I'm doing good.
Good. I don't know if you saw what Charlie posted on Facebook yesterday.
I did, he showed me that this morning. He said it got like,
They got a ton of love.
yeah, that's what he said.
What high school did you
That's
go
funny.
So normally, right, she's gonna make a few announcements. Is that okay?
Yeah,
You wanna lead in?
Fundraiser.
You can have,
Absolutely.
as I mentioned, we're on Zoom as well, so you'll be speaking not just to you, for everybody who are coming.
You guys want to speak?
No, you're fine.
They voted.
Like, I can speak and throw it to you. if that makes you feel better.
It's fine.
I'll toss it to you when we get to who to call when it's
Oh, okay.
Ghostbusters time. We can call John Roberts.
So they, I'll introduce you.
That's fine,
Okay,
yeah,
you can-
I can, yeah, that's no problem.
That's all right. Okay. How you doing?
Good, you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Buy, sell, yep. Buy and sell. The remodeling after. Sure, downsizing.
Oh, I got you.
Downsizing.
Ready to rock and roll on this?
Yeah, what's up? Dee's supposed to be here. D.
There's D.
Oh. Speak the devil.
She's gonna talk about
When they're done.
When they're done.
Or involvement with them.
it. Okay, gotcha. I'll follow that. I'll follow-
Refer to you.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
I brought these for the Habitat ladies.
Okay, with the habitat is right.
Oh, hello.
Good morning. How are you? Oh, nice. Thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. It's 9 o'clock and those who are here, it's great. I don't want to keep your,
I got one.
thanks. Go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, those who are from Habitat, that we've got Zoom, so those are attending as well via Zoom. It's not, this is not their sole audience. And so let them know they have that.
Smart ones,
We have a larger representation here that we have. So Neil, would you like to go ahead and start with some of the announcements in the calendar? Not to put Neil on the spot, but we send the calendar out anyway, so it's available to you. I think next week, I think what's Community Bank is
Yeah.
going to be here talking about some of their loan programs, so they'll be here next week, so you'll have an idea of what will be available to you at that time. There we go.
All right, so next week, yeah, like Gary said, Community Bank's gonna be here to talk about a grant program that they are offering. May 3rd will be our Kentucky Derby or Kentucky Derby party. I have a slide for that here shortly. May 10th, Kansas Secure Title will be presenting. May 17th is a company called Cole Realty. They provide a service where you can log into their site, and it's mainly for farming purposes. So you can pull data based off of subdivisions. You can essentially draw a map or a circle on a map and pull property owner information. So some phone numbers, email addresses, names that are associated with that address. So it's a little bit easier than going out to the county and trying to pull names. And what else? May 24th is going to be an RPR overview, and Amanda will cover that. Slideshow doesn't like me this morning. All right, well, I don't know why it's not working on that. Let's see, what else do we have? May 5th, we're having a Cinco de Mayo party. That's going to be from 3 to 4:30 here in the conference room. We'll have margaritas, drinks, queso, probably guacamole, just snacks in general. So come celebrate with us and have a good time. Also, don't forget that May 20th is our next big event that we have planned. That's going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. at Evergy Plaza. And that's going, we'll have the splash pad going. We're going to show Sing 2. If you haven't seen that movie yet, it's great. I almost like it better than the first one. And then we're going to close out the night with a private fountain show. We have some cool gift stuff that we're going to hand out to everybody. I have a blue carpet that I'm going to roll out with a big step and repeat. So it'll be like a movie premiere. So we want you guys to invite your family, friends, and your clients. We do ask that you not post this on your social media pages, just because this is a pretty expensive event that we have to pay per person. But we want a good turnout. We just don't want just the general public showing up. Yeah, we'll have a popcorn vendor there, snow cone vendor there. We'll have candy, drinks, the whole get up. And then lastly, I want to thank everybody that showed up and helped with the Easter egg hunt on Saturday. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be there, but it sounded like it was a good time and turnout was good and the kids seemed to enjoy it. And Luke told me that this was the longest hunt that we've had. Usually they're like 30 seconds. But we had so many eggs that it lasted 10 to 15 minutes. So that's exciting.
Great.
We had a professional photographer on site and he emailed me all of the photos. So I will be posting those to our Facebook page later today. So if you had clients there that had their pictures taken, you can let them know to head over to our site and they can download the photos from there. Otherwise, that's all the announcements that Amanda had.
Yeah, I'll echo those sentiments on the Easter egg hunt. It was fantastic. My kids and grandkids drove down from Kansas City and I said, you better be here when it starts or it's gonna be over with when you get here if you don't make it on time. And my daughter sent a picture and said, you know, why worry about Halloween, you know, when you got all this candy at Easter time. So there's a big, just two of them, but they had eggs that were overflowing. So, you know, for everyone who spent 2 weeks ago here filling all of those eggs, it was exceptional. And my daughter said, you know, they were full, the eggs were full. And I said, yes, we were directed to put 3 pieces of candy in each egg. And that's what we did. Dee was there to make sure they had 3 and of the right variety. So it took a lot of effort, but it was well received and everyone liked it. I'd like to introduce Tyler Gray today, who's with us. Tyler, welcome aboard. Glad to have you with Coldwell Banker American Home. So it's good to see you this morning.
Thank you.
And so it's always good to have someone new, invigorating and kind of keep us on our toes and someone who will do well. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I like that.
Very good. This is a time when we're being audited by KREC. This audit's been going on for 2 weeks now, and we're providing files to them. And they're asking for information if it's not complete. So what I ask is that as you submit your paperwork, you make sure it's complete when you submit it. And it'd be complete and it'd be accurate and it'd be timely. Everything that we hope will prove true in the next well, maybe a year, whenever we hear back from them. Sometimes it's a year before we hear back. But they're auditing now. So when Leah and Barbara are asking for information or forms, please comply and get it to them because it's necessary. And if it's not complete, then I'm held accountable because it said Gary Nance failed to supervise. And so that all falls back on my shoulders. So I have a particular interest in results of this audit.
What you're saying, you have a vested interest, Gary?
Yeah. Invested to the extent that I have to pay, I want to keep my license and so forth. So I enjoy what I do. So the audit's going on, but the forms are terribly important. So I ask that you keep up to speed with those. We had a case yesterday where it was to hit the market, the listing hit the market, but there were no showing instructions. So as I understand it, the agents in town were circling the home, waiting to get instructions to get in. So it's really an interesting market. And I can somewhat empathize with you and with the buyers. Linda and I have been looking somewhat regularly at homes in Kansas City. And we saw one, just said, well, we'll take a look at this particular home. We did. One day, there were 70 showings and 14 offers. 70 showings. It was what they call overlapping showings. So our time was 11 to 11:30. We got there were probably a couple in the home. By the time we looked at it, 4 or 5 others had already gone through. And so it went cash, no appraisal, as is, so it's, I can empathize with you on your buyers and what you're trying to deal with. It's tough. Obviously, we didn't get it.
Where at in KC is?
The Overland Park.
Oh,
And it was a home that needed some updates. It's one of those things, make your own, so when you go in, it's going to need some repair items. Maybe ReStore would have been a place we would need to go. But it's typical of the market in here. And I think that it's something we have to be attuned to with the increase in interest rates that have gone up and the buying power of your buyers. Be attuned to what their pre-approvals, as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, make sure they're still applicable and can still buy in the range that they're looking for. So it's just that's the nature of the market. And speaking of the market, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will have your first quarter reports to you for production. This last week was a little out of sync, so I didn't get those addressed, but I'm probably 80% of the way through. So it'll be Excel spreadsheet and graphs of production of 2020, 2021, the projections for 2022 and what you've done to date, 2022. So you should have.
on that point you're talking about, we got somebody that, when they first got approved, it was a 268, now it's a 432.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's-
it's with core first, and they just told them that. So I mean, that's pretty good change as far as being able to what you can purchase. So you need to kind of stay on top of that, because if you're looking for say $500,000 at 286, you may have to go back to 4 something. It's 4 whatever it is.
No, Investor was 5 and 8 on Friday.
Investor was.
I mean, when I started down the
Savings
years,
account still 0.05.
pardon?
Savings account still 0.5%.
I mean, when I started that, well, like 32 years ago, we were above 10,
Oh, absolutely.
and yet some remember when they were 17,
John and I got married in Little Rock, and we assumed a loan for 13%, and we thought we hung the moon.
Right. I mean, so, when it gets now up to 5, we think, so for those who started when they were 2 or 3, 5 seems horrendous. For those who started at 10, 5 is manageable. And we used to buy down points. We do all types of things to be creative or.
People slept on cots overnight to get 13 and a half at one point
Yeah.
out at Silver Bay.
I mean, that was good. And Brian mentioned a couple of weeks ago, adjustable rates, how they might be, back in now for the 5 or 7 on adjustable rates. But anyway, you'll have your statistics tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow. But we welcome today someone to kind of help with our rehabbing our properties and doing things we need to make them go, is we have the Habitat for Humanity ReStore. Some of you may remember that at 29th and Topeka Boulevard, a number of years ago, it's now a exercise facility, but my wife Linda said, I need, what if we can match our cabinets? She said, we need to go out there and take a look. And I said, we're not going to be able to rematch it, but we will go out anyway. And we found yard lights that we could use for our HOA. We'd had the glass thing in there. We could take those and we could make them work. And so it's something that we enjoyed going out there and going out there and seeing. And a place to take things that you may be ripping out a kitchen or maybe changing cabinetry. If I remember correctly, we could deliver those. If that's no longer accurate, let me know. But it's something that's really an opportunity to take a look at. To utilize and go see what they have available. They have since relocated to Nodo off of, I think you said Gordon and Quincy, is that it? Right there, just in Nodo, it's right on right off the main, Nodo, right off Kansas Avenue, just a little bit to the east there. So as I understand it, they have a newer facility that has a ceiling that's not falling in.
Yeah.
And
Always good.
and that they've worked diligently to have as a facility that they would like maybe more of a storehouse or a storefront that may be more appealing and attractive to going in and taking a look at. But it's something that if you don't take advantage of, I would recommend it to go out there, and we try to partner a great deal with Habitat for Humanity. So before I say more than I should, I'll introduce Nikki McMillan, who's the Chief Operating Officer, and she'll kind of take it from there. So Nikki.
Thank you, guys. I also have John, who is our ReStore manager, here with us, and Janice, who's our CEO. And so they'll jump in and answer some questions. But for those of you who don't know, you all signed on to partner with us this year in a lot of ways, which is really exciting. And so that will included a financial partnership and a volunteer aspect and support of our ReStore. So we really appreciate that a lot. How many people have been to the ReStore in the new location? Fancy new location. All right. I mean, it's not new anymore. It's almost 6 years old. So it still feels new to us, but it is definitely a better location for us. A lot more space and a lot more organized. So the ReStore is really our big fundraiser. We are a nonprofit. Habitat for Humanity is, we build homes for people. We just finished our 112th home. So we offer families the opportunity to purchase a home that wouldn't qualify on the open market. And so that home was not far from here, off of 34th and Burlingame. And we are now building our 113th home over off of 26th and Buchanan.
Yeah.
And if you've been over there by the country club, that's the 4th home going in over there. We own that whole kind of block of land, thanks to Kansas Secured Title. They donated all of that land to us. So a great partnership with them.
And our interest rates are the best competitive.
Yes, 0 interest on our loan. So we mortgage the families that we work with. We act as the bank. We pay the upfront cost to build. We work with the families over the course of their build to do financial education, home maintenance, to get them ready to be homeowners, and they do their sweat equity with us, which is the volunteer component. And then they pay back the cost to build at a 0 interest rate to Habitat. And so can't beat that. And it really, we specifically work with families that would struggle to qualify on the open market. So really, it's a great program. We specifically are serving a lot of larger families these days because that's just a lot harder these days to find something affordable. So the ReStore supports all of that. The ReStore is our fundraiser. We don't have a gala or do any of the other things that nonprofits do. We raise money with the ReStore. Every day that it's open, it's bringing in money to support our programming. And we have adjusted some with COVID, and it's working out really well for us. So right now you can come and shop at the ReStore on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 10 to 4. And Part of that is because that helps us keep our overhead costs low and kind of helps us. We made that transition during COVID when we couldn't have volunteers on site. Most of our volunteers are older and it wasn't safe for them to be with us during the beginning of COVID. And so we made that adjustment and it's just worked really well for us. But donations, which is really where you all come in the most, those can be dropped off Tuesday through Saturday, and also pickup arrangements can be made Tuesday through Saturday. So really you can donate anything to the ReStore that you would use to remodel a house, to decorate a house. So if you have a family that you're working with that's downsizing, ReStore is a great option. They can come pick up all that stuff when they move. If you have somebody that's purchasing a house that knows they're going to remodel the kitchen, we'll take all the cabinets, or remodel the bathroom, we'll take all the bathroom fixtures. Landscaping materials, doors, lights, all of it. ReStore will take it all. And it's really how we raise funds, and it's how we raise quite a bit of funds. And so it really is a good endeavor for us. And it works well for the folks that are donating to us, and it keeps a lot of things from going in the landfill or out on the curb. And so really, I think that you all make great partners. It seems very natural with what you do to start partnering with the ReStore more. And I know that Neil's working on a postcard that will go out to all of your clients that talks about the ReStore and how to donate and what we do. And then we brought some stuff with us today. We have some door hangers that you can leave with folks if you know they might have some things to donate to us. And then we have our business cards. If somebody needs some special arrangements made, you can reach out to us directly and we'll work with you to do that. But really that's the ReStore in a nutshell.
Our repair program.
Yeah, so in addition to our home ownership program, the ReStore also supports our repair programs. And most people don't think of Habitat in that way. They know us for building houses, and that's kind of what you see all the time. But we are getting ready to complete our 500th repair this year.
Oh, wow.
And so 5 years, 500 repairs. We just kind of realized that we were hitting that goal. And so those repairs are mostly focused on our aging in place program. So we offer home repairs for homeowners in Shawnee County that are over the age of 55. So we specifically target people that are on a fixed income, that are struggling to either make a major home repair or to do some maintenance upkeep. We have the ability to do anything from a hot water heater to an HVAC system. We do ramps, we do bathroom modifications for accessibility, windows, energy efficiency, really just about anything that would improve someone's quality of life and would allow them to age in their home. And that's been a big, it's been a big undertaking for us, and it's been very successful. And it's a program that we're continuing to grow because the need is continuing to grow in our community. So ReStore also supports that. And we are also always looking for referral sources. So if you ever come across somebody that you think could benefit from those services that, you know, need some work done, please always send them our way.
Except where we're looking to keep them in their homes.
Yes,
not
we want to
help
keep them in
sell.
their home, not help them sell. Although once in a while we do get to a place where we have to have hard conversations with people and their families to say this just isn't a great viable option. We come at our home repairs program from a really holistic approach. So we go in, when we go in to do a home assessment, we don't just do the home assessment to assess for repairs. We also go in with our aging in place coordinator who does a social assessment of are they receiving all of the services they need? Do they have access to healthy food? Do they have access to all the medications they need? Are they, you know, do they have social supports? Do they have family support? So we're really trying to come at it from a holistic approach so that once we do the repairs that are necessary, all of those other needs are also being met so that they can really thrive in their home and be successful. Mm-hmm.
When I went to the dedication
Uh-huh.
on March 31, you know, I was on the board a million years ago, and we basically turned over a house. Can you talk a little bit about the partnering you do, because you filled the pantry, you did all all sorts of other things by partnering with companies in Topeka. And I just thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've developed some really neat partnerships. And that has been really beneficial in a couple of folds. One, I think what is most impactful and what you'll see when you talk to the homeowners that we work with is this feeling of support and of the community rallying around them when people don't even know them sometimes and are showing up to volunteer or are giving in some of these ways. And that's really impactful. It's a very supportive feeling. But also we want people to move into their homes with everything they need to start off with and to be really successful. So Advisors Excel has been partnering with us for a couple of years now. They provide beds and new furniture so that the folks that we're working with can move into their homes with brand new, not having to take their old stuff with them. And that has come in really handy. A lot of the folks we're working with are having significant health issues caused by their rental conditions. Usually it's mold or just kind of different unhealthy living situations. And so really having that fresh start, we have seen incredible health outcomes with that. And then this was the first time we were able to partner with harvesters. So volunteers at harvesters, the volunteers and staff of harvesters decided they wanted to stock the pantries for our homeowners. So they had an internal donation drive where the volunteers and staff all donated like typical what you would want to stock your pantry and fridge with right off the bat. And they came in and stocked everything for our new homeowner. And that was pretty incredible as well. And you all will be doing some landscaping for our new homeowner so that they're not walking into just a bare yard that they have to try to figure out how to navigate. We have a lot of really incredible partnerships. Yeah.
Everybody in this room is part of another partnership too, because SAR, the Community Relations Committee with SAR, we do toolboxes
Yes.
for the new homeowners.
That has been incredible.
We started that last year.
Yes, and we delivered one to this homeowner. So a ladder and a toolbox to every homeowner. So they have kind of their basics when they start off. They can clean their gutters and hang their pictures and do kind of those basic things. And that has been really incredible as well.
What happens if somebody buying a house decides that they need to move out of state for something, or you just go to the next person in line, let them have it, or refinance it or whatever? Once
they're in their house, our mortgages are structured the same as a traditional mortgage. So after a year of after a year of occupancy, they're able to sell their home.
We have a right of first refusal on every mortgage.
We have yet to execute that, but we do. But
So if
typically,
somebody's in a house for a year and they decide they want to leave or they want to get out, you guys are the first ones that can buy it. And then
correct.
Joe Smith could be second or something like that.
So we're the first ones that can buy it. If we opt not to buy it, they would contact a realtor to sell it on the market.
Okay.
And then they would take the proceeds just
Does
like
that
any
happen
other.
very much?
Nope.
It does not.
People don't want to leave that zero interest structure.
Yeah, it does not happen very often. It's funny, some other habitats kind of bank on that happening once or twice a year and kind of padding their coffers a little bit with it. That doesn't happen very often in our world. What we see with the houses, so when we did this round of family selection, the homeowners that we're partnering with are paying about twice what their mortgage is going to be in rent, and 2 to 3 times what their utilities are going to be in their habitat house, in their rental house. And so it's hard to beat that when you're when you're looking to maybe sell. So unless there's really big life changes, we don't see people sell a lot.
Do you only go to homes in Shawnee County? So donation to City Habits in Douglas County, would you go to Lawrence and pick up a donation?
We do. We go to Lawrence about once a week, once every other week. We try to work with the Lawrence ReStore, but they are not in a position to take a lot of donations right now. And so we try to defer to them first, but we set up about a weekly run to Lawrence right now.
You do furniture as well?
Furniture and appliances are kind of a huge seller. Cabinets are the #1 thing for us. Cabinets go like crazy, but we'll do just about anything that you need to decorate or.
John, do you want to talk
So
about
basically,
stuff
on
we
the,
don't
like, when we go to
want?
like Lawrence
Yeah.
or something like, sorry. We go to Lawrence, we typically try to make it, worth our while to go there for the trip. So if there's another pickup there, we'll schedule it at the same time, or if it's a full truck. But we have a 16-foot box truck, so we can get quite a bit in there. But we want to make it worth our time to go down there. Not just get like one coffee table, but like maybe a whole set of cabinets, couple appliances or something like that.
Do you want to talk about what condition you would like the items in by chance?
Yeah, so on furniture like couches and stuff like that, we usually typically ask for pictures, photos. And we want it to be no obvious stains, tears or rips or anything like that. And we want it to be pet free and smoke free. So if that helps you guys out.
And bed bug free, please.
When you
I
say,
thought that was just.
Yeah, I thought that
You
was
would
a-
think that's just a
People
given.
drop stuff off on the side of our building that's kind of pest covered, and thank God we've noticed it every single time, but we would really not like stuff that's gonna be thrown away.
when you take cabinets and doors and
Mhm.
sink or faucets and that kind of stuff, does it have to be already removed, or do you guys actually help remove stuff like
It has
that?
to be removed.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have what they call like a demolition team, which some habitats have. And so we would prefer if it's already removed.
And how old or dated of stuff, would you take, like?
You'd be real surprised if it's in good condition.
Yeah.
People buy, oh my gosh, yes,
Structural condition mainly, because you
Uh-huh.
can paint stuff.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Tarnished faucets and stuff, if they're
We would
tarnished.
recycle those.
Oh, yeah.
We have a really incredible recycling program that's run entirely by volunteers. So they recycle, they come in 3 days a week. There's a whole team of volunteers that just strip things that we can't resell and sort it and recycle it. And they raise at least $10,000 a year for us in recycling
Nice.
and save anywhere from 1 to 2 tons of material from the landfill doing that. So it's pretty incredible. And it's not something we could do with staff. So to have a volunteer corps that does that is pretty remarkable.
I bought my first car with cans.
Hey, there you go. See, you'd fit right in.
How about one more plug about the homemade one-on-one segments?
Yeah, so one of the great things, because we do have this lovely building now, and our offices and our construction site and our ReStore are all in one hub. We also have a classroom there, so we're able to offer free classes. So on the third Tuesday of every month, we offer Home Maintenance 101. And that's free to anybody that wants to take it. They can sign up. So it's great for like first time home buyers or people that are kind of thinking about it. It's a basic overview. They get a manual and a maintenance schedule of when to do things in your house. And we, with our repairs manager, kind of cover the basics of what to look for, what things you can do yourself, what things you need to call a professional for, how to draw up a contract with a professional or what red flags to look for. And so that's a great class. And then on the second Saturdays of the month in the ReStore, we're doing more DIY classes. So this last Saturday, we did like a tile class on how to lay tile and backsplashes. And that will rotate to just kind of different topics every second Saturday. And people can sign up for those on our website or on our Facebook page. But those are really, we're excited to be back to doing that because we finished the classroom during COVID and then we couldn't have anybody in the classroom for a really long time. So we just held our 4th class. So we're pretty excited about that. So we have a class tonight. There's still time to sign up if you know anybody that would like to sneak into that class. There's still room for it, so.
What about classes for your volunteers? Do you have classes that they take preliminary before they start volunteering on the site with you?
We did. We are still in a phase right now where we're just doing one-on-one orientations, and I'm doing those right now. So, and my business cards are here. So if anybody wants to volunteer with the construction site or the ReStore, we can set up something, an orientation one-on-one, or we can schedule a group opportunity if people want to come together and do something as a group. for now, I'm handling that. We're going through resumes today to hire a volunteer coordinator. And so I won't be handling that forever, but for now, I'm the person to come to for that. And we have Women Build Week coming up, which is my favorite time to volunteer. And all of that information is on our website, but it's May 19th through the 26th. And we'll launch the sign up for that on Friday. And we'll host over 100 women volunteers on our build site that week. And it's just really fun. So I would encourage you to come sign up, and we give away really soft t-shirts that are super cute. So come sign up for that. It's a lot of fun. Are there any other questions for me or John or Janice? Okay, so we have these door hangers. They have a list of things that you can donate to the ReStore and how to schedule a pickup. The things that we don't want you to donate to the ReStore are electronics and mattresses and anything like books or videotapes or clothes. I mean, things that aren't home improvement-y, but
Yeah, we're not a thrift store, we're a discount home improvement.
that's
store.
right. So I will leave some of these for you guys to take, and I'll leave some business cards, but thank you for letting us chat with you about the ReStore, and we hope to hear from you all at some point. So
One more thing.
Yeah, go for
If you do our schedule of pickup, typically we're about 1 to 2 weeks out, but not necessarily. We're flexible, but keep in mind, we generally are a week or two booked out. So and normally we do Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Can I get on your schedule today?
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
You're correct.
Yeah.
here,
Typically, how long does it take you to do an appointment for someone who's aging in place?
So it
very
dep-
quickly.
it depends on the need. If it's a critical need, we try to expedite those. So if somebody doesn't have hot water or they don't have, heat or something like that, we try to move on those within 48 hours. Otherwise, it just depends on what the need is, but we try to expedite them based on what the need is. Yep, and we're doing a ton of ramps right now. So not sure what's happening in our community, but in the last 3 weeks, we've taken 1 million phone calls to build ramps for people. And so that is something that we do.
Would you take ramps and then donation?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, please. Yes, please.
We-
Especially metal ones.
Especially aluminum ramps.
Oh, yeah.
We need them all day, every day. They're
Yes,
so
please.
expensive
We
to
just
buy.
bought a quart of lumber yesterday just to get the discount price because we're using so much wood for ramps right now.
And it's
Yes,
costing
please.
us about 3 times.
So if
what it
somebody buys
was.
a house, they don't want the ramp to do something. call it
Yes,
out.
Yes, please.
absolutely.
Yes, we probably have 13 referrals for ramps right now.
And it's costing us about 3 times what it was pre-COVID to build it.
Yeah, it's about $4,000 to build a ramp proper to code.
Yeah.
What about stairs? I mean,
Mhm.
The acorn?
yeah, this kind of sterile,
Stair lifts.
Stair lifts.
We are not, like for aging in place, we are not certified to install those, but we have a partner in town, the Topeka Independent Living Resource Center, that can work with our clients on that.
So I dropped off some porcelain tile Saturday morning. I didn't know you had a tile class. I should have stayed around.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
This is an entertaining opportunity. That's, I mean, of course, my idea was go Saturday, spending it at lunch, but spending it there was awesome. And the other thing that I was trying to run through there was tools.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've got a neighbor moving right now that's looking for a place for some tools.
Yes, we would love to take them. So absolutely. And we can provide tax receipts or whatever folks need for that as well.
The ReStore is a hopping place on Saturday mornings.
It is indeed.
Oh, if you think it's hopping on a Saturday morning, you
Try
should come
coming
on
on
a
a
Thursday
Thursday.
at 10 and we open for the week because people start lining up at about 9:15 and by 10 o'clock, the line is wrapped around the building every week.
It's wild,
Like it's Black Friday.
especially when we posted cabinets on our Facebook. It's like a fight for the death.
Yeah,
John does an excellent job of crowd controlling it.
we definitely have a supply and demand situation right now. We just need more donations. We could sell so much more if we had more donations coming in. So we appreciate any help with that for sure.
Neil, when is the Habitat postcard going to be one of the monthly selections?
It'll be ready in the next week. I have everything laid out. I just need to get a good photo to put with it.
Dee, did you want to add something, how we can partner with them and help them, or were you really gonna participate?
We are partnering by the new homes. We're going in, we're assessing the foundation, soil and the plantings. And usually there are no plantings because that's something you don't do. And this is my assistant here. He's kind of a slacker.
They'll see you the slapper.
But the last house has concrete on two sides. It's a slab house, so we only have to address two sides, but I think the grass isn't growing terribly awesome, so I think we can address that. The foundation plantings aren't going to be a lot of flowers, they're going to be bushes. And hopefully we don't have a fight over what bushes are low maintenance, but you know.
We will.
Okay, yeah, I'm letting you know the deal.
And then hoses
Two
and
hoses, a hose for each spigot and a sprinkler so that they can maintain what they have. And written instructions as to what was planted and how to keep it from croaking in the first week.
yes, which is super helpful.
So those in the office who'd like to coordinate activities should coordinate it through D or Don through D, and the D will determine where we can best utilize the resources. What?
Yeah,
I'm glad we can participate and
thank you.
partner with you on this. It's terrific.
We're very excited to partner with you all, so thank you so much.
Well, thank you for continuing today. Great. Nice to tell my wife. Everybody.
There you go.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Do we have any other thoughts or comments for the good of the cause? Anything that's come up we need to discuss? It's kind of an open forum here for a little bit of things that might be of concern or of interest or what we need to address in future meetings.
I just have a question for everybody that I think might help us all. Like Gary, you mentioned losing with a really high offer, right? I'm curious, like maybe what everybody's highest offer is that they've lost with lately. Like last week I lost at 14,000 over with a VA loan and like $1,000 appraisal gap. Anybody else lose with something pretty high?
I wrote, we listed for 172 or 175, I wrote an escalation cost up to 200,000, but we wrote with inspections and that's, I lost.
We
On
were,
the flip side of that,
28,000 over.
I recently had one go $45,000 over for a seller. And it appraised,
What price range is that?
and we listed it 285 and it sold for 330.
Wow, what neighborhood?
Westboro.
We've been getting 460. You know, anything comes up at that price range, we've been, you know, and they're not asking for any inspections and they're not asking, only thing they want is to do a whole house inspection and not asking for any closing costs or anything. It comes in at 400, we didn't want it 460, still got to beat, but the agent on the other side promised that she wouldn't take a look at any of the offers, you know, we all presented at the time, because she might have one herself. She didn't want to be prejudiced. Praise the Lord.
if that's any insight to who had the, listen, praise the Lord.
You were 60 over?
No, we were 10 over.
Oh, 10 over.
We went, but we were 10 over and it still went for more than that. And the other agent, and I think one of her clients bought the house, praise the Lord.
But it's interesting, you know, what the tolerance level of the buyer, you know, at what point is it acceptable or not acceptable? You know, I didn't want to give up inspections, and I knew that it was going to be tough, but our offer was equivalent like 53,000 over list. And it didn't get it, yeah, because it was somebody else was willing to pay cash, you know, and so it's difficult.
Anybody have a buyer who's had their offer accepted with the seller paying some closing costs?
No,
Yeah.
like, not for years.
I mean, I got one back in November. And that was back when there was still a little grant money available, and that was just an incredible deal where they paid sellers closing costs, he got the grant money, he had to come to the closing table on a $180,000 house with like $400.
Josh Perry has grant money.
How about that over,
Where's he the servant?
over
I'm working on
Leewood?
that.
Shan said,
Oh,
next to my niece and nephew's house over there, guy came in. They had listed an old ranch style house for 5.25. I paid $575 for it, tore it down.
yeah.
What?
They call them tear down lots.
Tear down lots over in Old Leewood over there, it's the old part of Leewood. It's on Lee Street over there.
Yeah,
It's just-
Lee Boulevard.
Yeah, they paid $575 basically for the whole lot.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. You know, homes are being sold. We just need to reinvent our thought process and approach things a little bit differently. Make sure that the buyers are prepared, the sellers are prepared, and do our due diligence as agents to prepare them. You know, are they qualified to buy? You know, have they been pre-approved? If it were to go to this amount, you know, where do they stand? So that there's no shock and alarm of getting in and realizing we can't do it. You know, they say the average with inflation, average costs have gone up $300 a month. So you need to factor that into a budget. Work with your buyers on budgeting. What are they spending each month for eating out, for entertainment, for Netflix, for everything, and see where they can maybe cut some of this off. Yes, back in the day when we started, we tell people you can't go out and eat now for 3 weeks. You know, we need to buy it down an eighth, you know, before they can get in to buy a home. So we need to prepare them. You know, we just need to rethink our process and how we approach it. So for me, it's kind of an interesting time of running the figures, running how things are working out so you can better prepare your buyers for the purchase.
You know, these people we've got now that are trying to buy for $450, I mean, they've come to the conclusion that they're gonna start looking at a builder. That way they can lock in, they know what it's gonna, they're not in a fight, they've got a place where they can live. And they may just build it the way they want to and be done with it, and that way they don't have to worry about every time they turn around, they take an offer and it gets rejected. They've got a place to live, so it's not a big deal, so I mean, you know, that might be an option for people.
And I think maybe even now multi-generational homes
Mhm.
where we see those in some of the coasts where it may be a parent with kids and grandkids or someone else. You'd have to make sure it's zoned right because some of them will only allow so many families living in a facility. But 20 years ago, multi-generational families, residential families were a big deal. Let's look.
Somebody is prospecting that there's gonna be more building going on, because out there on Auburn Road, somebody built like a contractor's warehouse facility. It's like a big storage building with like, you know, it's tall and it's got a big sign that it's like contractor storage facility. So there's like, I don't know, 30 stalls or 20 stalls. They're thinking there's gonna be a lot of, you know, work going on and stuff.
Good.
Now's where we show our worth as a realtor. You know, things are becoming a little bit more difficult. We have to think and be advocates for the sellers and buyers. What can we do to position their home to sell, which is not so much a problem now, but the seller has to buy something. You know, it's how we get the position. So now we really need to think. Yes, Brian.
There's an observation about the times in our MLS reports that Gary runs for us to compare market stats. I noticed that 10% of the buyers in the first quarter of the year were represented by agents that don't belong to our MLS. Well, I think the low inventory makes people extend their geography.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, so we're seeing agents from Kansas City and Manhattan, you know, in our market. And so we need to shoot.
And that's, you will find listings with signs in the yards that are like Bryce that are not around MLS.
Yeah.
I have to go to Heartland to find out information for the agent. Because how rapidly they're selling, you have to contact that agent to find out. Then make sure you'll get compensated. We have cooperation, but you may not get compensated. You might run a contract and the Kansas City said, fine, glad you sold it, but you're not getting paid because we don't belong to that MLS. So there's a form that's out there on compensation. And I asked that if you don't belong to an MLS, either, Kansas City or Manhattan or Lawrence, that you have that form filled out to ensure that you're going to get compensated if you have a contract. Yes, Luke.
Because what a disservice listing with an agent who's not part of your local MLS because of all the buyers working with realtors around here that are set up for searches. I mean, the only place that listing is getting distributed is on like Zillow or like one of the syndicated websites or whatever, right? That's why, if it's listed with that Kansas City realtor, like we don't even know about it unless you're looking at Zillow every day, and I'm not looking at Zillow ever.
But the buyers are.
Yeah.
And that's where they find out that it appeared on Zillow. My Linda looks at them, she said, it's on Zillow, but it's not on your website. And it's a matter of minutes. It makes a difference.
That's
You have two-
embarrassing, because that happened to me.
Yeah,
A buyer saw it on Zillow. It was a house that was here in Topeka. It was listed in Heartland. It was a Leawood agent. The seller was in Kansas City, Missouri. The buyer saw it on Zillow, and he was irritated with me because I didn't know anything about it.
That's how you get a deal. You buy something that's listed wrong, that all the people that want to buy it don't know that it's available, and you buy it before everybody else does. I mean, something in the wrong school district, something with low square footage, something listed in Kansas City but not listed in Topeka. That's how you get a deal. But not a good situation. for you.
No, well, this house, the foundation was falling in on it anyway. It was a Kansas City investor that thought they were gonna turn quick and realized they were in over their head and they were trying to sell it. It was a disaster. We walked in and I'm surprised that, let's put it this way, we had to sign a hold farm once they get into the house. So,
Brian, you were gonna say something?
No.
You weren't? Okay. But like I said, now's the time we need to think, we're realtors now. We need to think as realtors and learn the figures and not just take business for granted. We're gonna have to work hard to earn it and to maintain it and to keep it. So these are the conversations I enjoy. Anything we can do in small groups together, discuss financing or how we're gonna make things work, or please let us know, because I think it's a opportunity for us. Anything else? Hearing nothing, we are adjourned. Thank you.
thank you, thank you.
10 minutes to go, 9 minutes and 8 seconds.
Efficiency, Gary. Yeah, we're not the A groups though. Actually,
Thanks,
you were
Neil.
Yeah, you're welcome.
talking about
Thanks for running it.
I didn't.